Dietitians friends, welcome to my channel. I'm answering your questions today. Yeah, I'm going to be doing another Q&A. Most of these questions are going to be from Instagram, but there's some from Facebook too. Not Facebook, YouTube. There we go. Yeah, from YouTube as well. So if you guys click this, then you know what you're getting yourself into. So let's go. Firstly, a few things. I've wanted to do Q&As more frequently. This answering questions that maybe weren't even asked, like Q&A, like I'm going through some old videos, like older videos, like the past like few weeks, and seeing if anyone had questions that I think would pertain to be nice for a Q&A. I'm going to be answering here. I got this idea from Super Jacob. He does this quite frequently on his channel. This definitely is something I wanted to do for a while, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that I love the way that Super Jacob interacts with this channel, and that's always kind of like the interactions I wanted to have towards you guys. So I'm just letting you guys know I got this idea from Super Jacob, so he gets all the credit for this. I know that Minx for All does things like this as well, like I think her Minx Mondays. So it's not, you know, just them, but those are the ones that I watch that do this. And I do kind of like the idea of interacting and talking with you guys more, because it's kind of the fun of this channel, isn't me just sitting down talking to a phone by myself. It's interacting with you guys, it's answering questions, talking to you guys. You guys teach me a lot. Like, I get a lot of information from you guys, and maybe I can give it back and give you what tiny little bit of knowledge I have. Secondly, I just got my hair dyed yesterday. I'm pre-recording a bunch of videos because I will have no time this week to film. I usually pre-film a day or two in advance, but unfortunately there's a lot of work I have to do. Usually I give my hair a few days before I film, because my ears are blue and the tips of my fingers are blue. I'm working on a painting right now, so I don't have nails. And so my neck is going to be blue. My face might be blue in areas. I'm very sorry, but I just got my hair done and it is bleeding everywhere. It's just what happens. So there's going to be blue. If you're like, your fingers are blue, your ears are blue, I know. And also, there's a thunderstorm coming, so the lighting for this video and the next few will be horrible. I'm just letting you guys know, giving you a little bit of a spoiler for the next few videos. I'm very sorry. But part of the work I'm going to be doing is getting a filming room, little studio set up. So this week should be the absolutely last week when it comes down to filming. This might be the last time you see this guy. I should have better everything, so let's hope for that. Alright, so let's get into the questions, because I think you guys are tired of me babbling. My channel, hello, please subscribe, that would be fantastic. I talk a lot, so this will be a long video. I'm going to answer the question I think everybody cares about the most first, so that way if you do not want to sit through my long video, you don't have to. And this question comes from Perfume Road 66. This was asked on my last video where I did a Q&A. And the question is, how much do you think your perfume collection is worth at this point? Now, first and foremost, let me just throw this out there. I have almost, or just over, I haven't counted recently, about 250 bottles of perfume. That's a lot. It's not a lot when it comes down to people in the fragrance community and collectors. It's actually one of the smaller collections. But when it comes down to fragrance enthusiasts and people who like perfumes, who have personal collections that they wear and rotate through, it is one of the larger ones. So I'm not saying I have a big collection, I'm not saying I have a small collection. Now, I've been collecting fragrances for about 16 years now. I'm going to be 33 in like 3 weeks. And I started collecting, my ear's itchy, I'm sorry. I started collecting when I was 16. And some of these bottles I've had since I was in high school, which, oh my gosh, was like 13 years ago. So I have been doing it for a very long time. Working, I got gratis. I was given a lot of gifts of fragrances. I buy things really cheap, like through the gray market. I buy things full price. I have been sent things to review. I've been sent things by companies, which has been really generous and very, very fortunate, so I'm very thankful for that. And I have purchased a lot of these things full price. So I haven't purchased all of these full price. The reason why I'm getting into how I've gotten things is because, to answer this question, I really want to do it quite honestly. You guys are asking how much it's worth, not how much I've paid. And a lot of times, whenever I've seen anybody ask this question on any type of video regarding money, like when people ask how much you make on YouTube, or how much is this worth, or how much is this worth, unless it's like handbags, most of the people I've seen have actually kind of like hidden the cost or kind of skirted around the cost. And I don't really want to do that. I know that Jeremy has it. I know that when he showed his collection, he's like, it's worth this much. And I actually think he was lowballing that. Let's be completely real. I think he was lowballing that. And I'll tell you why. His collection is over 1,000 bottles at this point. I'm pretty aware. I have 250. My collection and the value and worth I am putting on this is if I had purchased it full price, no coupons, no discounts, no gifts, no gratis, no anything. If I had purchased every single one of these fragrances and it was full price, the ballpark estimate that I calculated like an hour ago is between $12,000 and $15,000. I know, that's a lot of money. If you think about it, most of these fragrances I haven't paid full price for. I'm going to be really real with that. I have purchased most of these bottles in my collection, and I will be honest with that. Absolutely, I have. But I've only been doing YouTube for a year. I've been sent way more than I ever thought I'd get. In fact, I didn't think I'd be sent anything. But companies have been very generous in sending me things to review. I've gotten many generous gifts from friends and loved ones and lovers and my husband and my family. And when you work in the industry, even a long time ago, I got so many bottles when I first started working there, and I still have those bottles. And when sales come up, and sometimes people get a bottle and they don't know its value, and they'll sell it on eBay. And so you might buy a $500 bottle of perfume for like $50. That's happened. It doesn't mean that I've spent that much, but its value is between $12,000 and $15,000 at this point. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, and I know that. It's a bit excessive. That elephant is out of the room. Let's get to other questions. This is kind of cutting off my head. The filming of this, probably cutting off my head, because if I'm too far, it's way too grainy. It's a little bit too dark, so I have to sit kind of closer. This way, you see up my nose. So let's, I figure you guys don't have to see the top of my giant forehead. It's fine. All right, so these next questions are coming from Instagram. These questions I had a Q&A pick, and I said, do you guys have any questions? And these were the questions that I asked. I am going to be mispronouncing most of the usernames. I am very sorry. Whenever it comes to people's usernames, especially when they're one long word, I'm never sure the exact way to break it up. So I am apologizing. If you were watching this video and you're one of the Instagram people that asked me questions, first, thank you. And second, feel free to correct me. I would love to be able to pronounce your name properly. I don't take pride in mispronouncing things. So this first one is like a set of 3 questions, and it's from Eminazi Henny. I believe it's Eminazi Henny. I believe that is. Thank you for asking me questions. What do you do with the products that you regret purchasing? And how to prevent a perfume from turning off? And do you feel sometimes that you rush into buying stuff and regret it later? So the first thing is what do I do with products that you regret purchasing? It goes in steps. The first thing is I see if my mom wants it. She gets first dibs on any fragrance I do not like. I don't care how much I spent on it. It could have been $50, it could have been $500. If she likes it, she gets it. First dibs, my mom. She does the same for me. We'll come over, we'll go out for breakfast, and she'll I have a box for you, and it'll be a box with like 3 bottles of perfume and all these samples. She's like, these don't work on me, and I do the same thing with her. So the first thing is I see if my mom wants it. If she wants it, she gets it. Then I see if it's anything my sister wants. She's a little bit more sensitive to fragrances, so if she likes it, she gets it, and then it goes to any friends of mine, and then whatever's left over, I see if I can sell or decant and just give away. I don't really sell many of my bottles of fragrance. I sold through all of my Marc Jacobs ones because I just wasn't wearing them, and I sold 1 or 2 bottles of other things that I just wasn't wearing, and I was like, selling them, you don't really get much money. It's just such a hassle, and it's I'd rather just give them away to people. So yeah, so I usually just give them away. The next part is, how do I prevent a fragrance from turning off? I am doing, and I keep saying this, you guys, but I had to attach my perfume cabinet to the wall, so I had to take all my fragrances out. If you follow my Instagram, you might have noticed a plethora of fragrance collection pics. It's because they were all sitting on my floor, and I'm like, I'll just take pictures of these. I'm doing an entire video about preventing a fragrance from turning and how to expand the lifespan, or make your fragrance last longer in the bottle. But to real quick, to just darkness, no light, and you want it to be You don't want fluctuations in heat, major fluctuations in heat. So if you can put it in a dark, dry, cool environment, that is the best. Bathrooms are the worst. Unless it's a bathroom you don't use very frequently. If it's a bathroom where you take baths or showers, you're constantly in and out of turning lights on and off, it's so bad. I cringe when I see people with their fragrance collection videos and it's beautiful on a vanity and the sun's shining on it and everything looks gorgeous. That is such a beautiful way to display your fragrances, but and I don't keep fragrance boxes either. Let me throw that out there. A lot of people keep the boxes that their fragrances are in. I don't have any space to do that. So I only keep the fragrances for fragrances that I'm like collecting. Like I kept my Raja Dove or my Raja Parfums, my Chanel List exclusives, like a few others. That's pretty much it. Everything else gets tossed because I have no space in my house. But to keep your fragrances from turning dark, dry, and cool, and no fluctuations. You don't want fluctuations in your environments. So yeah. What's next? What's the other part? Do you feel sometimes that you rush into buying things and regret it later? Yes and no. I buy a lot of my fragrances blind. So there are times where I read the notes and I read the reviews, because I will read reviews and notes and see if there's anyone online that has, like any reviewer online that has noses that I think I like what they smell, and I'm generally like on board with how they like to smell. I see what they say, but there are times where I just don't even do that, and I'm like, oh, this is a deal, yeah, let's do this. And like freaking like a few $100s later, I get my box and I'm like, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. So there are times where I have rushed because something's been a sale. There has been times where I've rushed because I just was completely impatient. And yeah, and I have regret. I think everyone at some point, no matter what you're purchasing, will have buyer's remorse. And I think that if you've bought even 5 bottles of perfume, you probably have buyer's remorse over something regarding one of those. Maybe this was too much. Maybe this wasn't quite what you thought. So yeah, there are things that I do regret purchasing. Most of those go to my mom. Instagram, and he has 2 questions for me, I do believe, is Luke the Stud. Hello. First question is, what are your thoughts on bottle sizes? I usually go for a 100 ml if I love the fragrance, but for lighter citrus summer fragrances, should I get the big 5 ounce or 6.7 ounce bottles? Is that too much in your opinion? I think it completely depends on your rotation. I think it completely depends on how much you apply on your body, and how frequently. Now, I have a rule when it comes to fragrances. Generally, I will buy the smallest size. My fingers are so blue, I'm so sorry. Unless it is a fragrance I know I'm going to bathe in. And I mean, like, I am an oversprayer at heart, you guys. I will spray myself 8, 10, 12 times. Like freaking Atelier Cologne Clementine, California, I would just sit there. Like, just, if I had 2 bottles, I would like double do it. Double duty. I can just shower until my clothes are moist in that fragrance. And I need a bigger bottle of that. I needed a bigger bottle of that. But then there's other fragrances that I don't wear as frequently, or fragrances that aren't, you don't overspray. Don't overspray this to save your life. So you might not need a bigger bottle. It also, again, going back to how you store your fragrances. If you're storing them properly, they might last a few years. You might be able to do the deal and get the bigger bottle, because a lot of times when you get a bigger bottle, you save some money. It completely depends on your collection, your rotation, how you store your fragrances, and what your budget is. Now, I do feel that sometimes the smaller bottles are better if you're just experimenting. If it's a note or fragrance that you're really into, and maybe it's a trend that you're really super into and you're unsure, getting smaller bottles, even if it's more money, might be a good way to see if you want to stick to that trend. We'll use gourmands as an example. Not everybody likes gourmands, but maybe you think you like gourmands, or maybe you're really into gourmands. Gourmands are really easy if you're not into gourmands to get really tired of, because they are so specific, they're so strong, they're so beautiful and delicious, and I love them. But I can see where maybe if you're not a gourmand person, but you really like the idea of 1 or 2 fragrances being gourmands, maybe you wear too much of it and you get tired of it. Maybe you get nose blind to it. So having a big bottle of something like that you're not absolutely in love with, it's probably a waste of money. And I'm not saying gourmands, I'm just using a gourmand as an example. It could be a citrus fragrance. It could be a really, like, maybe like one of the barbershop fragrances or something really spicy or oud or woody. It doesn't matter. I feel like if it's a fragrance you love it, you wear all the time, yeah, definitely get the bigger bottle. It's usually a bigger deal. But I think it depends completely on you. Should you get the big 5-ounce or 6.7-ounce bottles? Again, it depends on how you wear them. For me, getting the citruses, because those are usually daytime scents that I just literally like will take off the top of and pour on top of my head, yeah, bigger bottles make sense for me. If you're an oversprayer and you overspray citruses, yeah, get the bigger bottle. But again, it depends completely on your rotation, your collection, how you store them, how you wear them, things like that. Is that too much in your opinion? No, again, it completely depends. I know people that will only get rollerballs. They're like, I don't need a big bottle. I have so many different fragrances. Even getting any type of bottle doesn't make any sense. And then I know people that think rollerballs are a waste of money. Depends on you. But I don't particularly think that it's a bad idea to get big bottles. But most of the time, if I'm just getting a new fragrance or if it's something that I'm trying, I'll get a small bottle, the smallest bottle of it. And if it's something I know I'm going to wear a lot, I will get the biggest bottle I can get my hands on. And then your next question, how quickly do you use up a bottle of Atelier cologne, especially if you spray a lot? About a year. As I started getting more fragrances in my collection and I started doing more of a rotation, I actually thought I would be like halfway through my bottle of Atelier Cologne Clementine, California. I barely made a dent, but I've been wearing a lot more Aqua Allegoria, Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria line, which I've been loving this summer. But generally, say Atelier Cologne, a few years ago it would have been a year for the big bottles, but now it seems it's gonna be about 2 years. I rarely go through a bottle though. I'll throw that out there. It's very rare. In fact, the only bottles I think I've ever gone through was Atelier Cologne. I forget which one it was so long ago. I used to go through Green Tea Like Water from Elizabeth Arden, Clinique Happy, and Bulgari Rose Essential, and Lolita Lempicka, and La Satan Honey Gentle Water. That's the last ones I remember going through. The last question, okay, sorry. And the last question is going to be from Miss Monroe 22. And this is, do you have a perfume money, or money that you put away for only buying perfumes? Or do you just purchase on spot? Do you have any ways that you make buying perfumes more affordable? This is another question I was definitely excited to answer, and I'm going to be dedicating an entire video to how to navigate gray market sites, what to look for, what to stay away from, and buying from eBay and, you know, other places where you can get really good deals. I do have a perfume budget, and that's why some months you'll see me have over 50 bottles, and some months you might see me have like 6. If you guys don't know, I mention all the time, I work from home. So it's feast or famine with your home business. I might have a lot of extra money, I might have a little bit money. And I'm going to answer another question after this when I get a little more into it, because it's just generally a question I get all the time. I do have a budget, and I don't go over that budget ever. It's purely based on how much money I've made that month from my business or selling art or things like that. So I do have a fragrance budget. It is larger than other people's budgets, but it is also smaller. So yeah, I do have some money set away for fragrances. Just purchase on spot. I do make purchases on spot. I don't have planned purchases. I'm actually completely redoing my little wish list, because closer to the end of the month after I purchase things, I kind of move things around. So I've got my Creed wish list I'm working on, and my Tom Ford, and my must-buy list I just started working on. So I do have things that I plan on getting, but on the spot purchasing I do a lot more frequently than I should. And do I have any ways to make buying perfumes more affordable? Yes. Wait for discounts. Wait for around Mother's Day, Black Friday, sales days. That's the best time. Another thing is if you like to purchase from Neiman Marcus or Saks full price, wait for their gift card events where beauty and fragrance is included. If you want to buy like 3 or 4 bottles of Creed, you might get a gift card for like $250, and you can use that towards more fragrance. That's one of the things that I do. That's why I'm like, I have these gift cards. I buy a lot of stuff during those times, and then you get like a $500 gift card, and it's like you got, you know. There are tips and tricks, and I'm going to do a more in-depth video. Gray market sites, knowing how to navigate Etsy, being part of the forums like Fragrantica and Base Notes. They have swaps and sales and splits. There's so many different resources at your disposal to not pay full price for things if you do not have to. So yeah. I do definitely do that, and I'm going to be doing an entire video of that, so yeah. Last question I get all the time, everywhere, and I did kind of want to address it. So basically what the question is how do I afford this much? And it's not so much like the last one, like, do I have fragrance money? It's like, it's more of, I think someone like asked the question in regards to, like, I work so hard and I don't have this extra money. I have kids and a house. I mean, I would love to be able to afford this. How do you do it? And, you know, and that made me sad because I'm in a different place than other people, and I'm going to touch on this, and this might be able to clear some things up for you guys. I live on what's like a historic property. The house that I live in, there's no mortgage. There's no rent. There's just utilities. So because my husband's family has lived on this piece of property for over 100 years. They actually sold a lot of the surrounding properties to the city. The house I'm living in was built by his grandfather and great-grandfather. So I don't have any rent. So I'm going to throw that out there. The car that me and my husband share was paid off years ago. So we don't have a car payment, so we have insurance. Our phones are paid for. We bought them. We get a new phone only when we absolutely need to. So really we have like utilities, we have insurance, health insurance, and then anything that we need, like if we need new tires or things like that. But we don't have rent and we don't have a car payment. So those are the two big things that most people normally have that take away their money that we don't have. And I am so lucky to have such an incredibly generous mother-in-law to not charge us rent. She doesn't. She's like, she loves us having here. If she ever in an instant was like, I need you to pay rents, we absolutely would in a heartbeat. But she's just happy to have us here. She's happy to have us close. We help her out with the house. We help her out with the yard. Any beautiful pictures of the yard I showed you, that is all by her hands. She works very hard for that. Whenever she needs anything cleaned, anything fixed, we drop everything for her, and we are more than willing to do that because of her incredible generosity. Not everyone is in that situation. I'm very lucky and very blessed. So I do have a lot of extra money, and we do save a lot of money, and we do invest a lot of money. But if we had rent, or if she was like pay rents, I mean, we don't have much of a burden. We pay our utilities, we pay our phone. I mean, it's not like we're leeching. But like those two payments, that car payment, because that car was paid off forever ago, and rent payment frees up a lot of extra money. The other thing is we don't have kids. And I see a lot of people ask this question in various videos and on Instagram and stuff, and they mention kids. Now, I want kids, you guys. I want kids really, really badly. But I'm health-wise not at a place where I can have kids. So that is something that we've had to put off, and I hope it's not indefinitely. I don't know. And it really bothers me when I think about it, but I would, if I had a kid right now, you dang diddly will believe that I would not be spending as much as I do on fragrances, even affordably. My money would go someplace else. So I have a lot of extra income freed up because I don't have kids, although I would love kids. I don't have rent. And don't have a car payment. So in some ways I'm kind of like a teenager. And since I work from home, we don't commute that much, so our gas isn't that expensive. We eat at home, and we eat really cheaply. You know, we have ramen and we make sandwiches, like and we don't really spend a lot of our money elsewhere. So the big place where I spend my money is on fragrance. That's like my big budget. That's what I enjoy spending my money on. Some people like going out. So you might go out to eat and get a bottle of wine, or go out to the bar with friends. John doesn't drink. My husband doesn't drink. I drink very rarely. So we don't go out very often to the bars to drinking or out to eat. So that frees up a lot of extra money. We kind of are homebodies. I kind of stay at home a lot. So that frees up a lot of extra money too. So we have a job where we make a lot of money, which is fantastic. We invest it and try to be very smart with our money. We have a lot of it we just spent for new equipment. But there's a lot of bills that we don't have that normally a lot of people have. So if you guys are wondering how I can afford what I do, A lot of it's luck. Hard work, because I put a lot of work into my job and my business, and so does my husband. But a lot of it's luck. And I'm not going to sit here, and I don't want anyone to think any less of themselves or think that they don't deserve everything that you want, especially when you have kids and you work dang hard for your money. I don't want you guys to ever think that, you know, just because you can't afford something makes you less deserving of any of the things. Because I would trade all my fragrances in a heartbeat for kids. I really would. Like, in an instant. But I can't. And that bothers me. But ultimately, don't ever think less of yourself because people have things that you might not be able to afford. Because normally, that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. So if you work hard out there, I don't want you to look at any of my hauls. I don't want you to look at any of my fragrances. I don't want you to look at any of those things and think that you don't work hard enough, because you probably work harder and you're probably more deserving. So I just kind of wanted to end this video on that. But I just also wanted to clear up why I'm able to spend what I do, because of the freedoms that are given to me, because of the generosity of my family and my husband's family, and also because, unfortunately, I can't have kids and I don't have to pay for kids, but I would love to pay for kids. I would, in a heartbeat. So yeah. So that's my Q&A, guys. I hope you liked it. I went through other videos to see if there was any other questions that were asked, but I think all those questions weren't. I didn't want to make this video too long. This video is already pretty long. So if you guys have any questions for me on my next Q&A, feel free to let me know below. I'll probably be doing this closer to the end of each month. Unless I get a lot of questions, I'll do them quicker. If you guys have any questions you want me to elaborate on that I've answered, feel free to let me know in the comment section below as well. As always, guys, if you like these videos and you like my videos, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It's me to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe, because it's free and I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends as well, so I'll always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever, and I'll see you next time. Bye.